Welcome to the Stone and Star Art Studio. Today we are starting a brand new series I like to call Golden Deserts. So all you need is a pencil, eraser, pen, and maybe some watercolors, and we'll get started. These desert pieces are based around this geometric shape. So our first shape is going to be a triangle. And I find sometimes just to make sure it's absolutely balanced, I like to put a line down the center and maybe even turn your paper upside down to make sure that one side isn't bigger than the other. Once your triangle is perfectly balanced, then we can start adding in some ground. So pretty close to the bottom right corner, I'm just going to kind of create a sloping hill. And it doesn't need to be perfectly smooth. I kept everything pretty rough in this. This line here is going to be the base for our horizon line. So way in the background here, I'm going to add in a mesa. So kind of flatter along the top and maybe some jagged edges on the sides. And then it almost has sort of a table just a little bit above the horizon line where it starts to slope down. So really just keep this rough and loose and kind of formless. Now the focus of our picture on this right side, we're going to have a beautiful little cactus. So make sure it pokes up above the horizon line because, perspective. And then we'll just add on some little arms for it. Now because we are doing this as a desert piece, we can add in some random little fluffs and a bunch of texture on the ground because it's rocky and bumpy and rough. Now, to make this a little more visually interesting, I'm going to add our sun up here on the top left, and it's going to cross over our triangle. So whenever I draw it, I'll ignore the triangle through that circle. Now, when you're happy with your piece, go back and ink over it. I like to use a micron pen because I know the watercolor won't make it bleed everywhere. Once your ink is completely dry, go back and erase. Before we get to painting, I like to use a spare piece of watercolor paper just to practice my colors. So for this one, I'm going to use gold. Our middle color will be orange. And for the darkest spots, I'm going to use this rich, beautiful red color. Let's practice a quick gradient over a doodle, just so we can see how the final colors will mix, because we don't want any surprises whenever we get to painting over our beautiful sketch in ink. So with this series, I like to work my way from lighter to darker. So I'm going to fill in our sky yellow and leave our sun blank. I'll let the yellow bleed into the top of our landscape and kind of ignore our cactus. And then when I start in with the orange, kind of blend that together like the sun is blending onto the landscape. Then while everything is still pretty wet, I'm going to add in our red so that we get a nice smooth gradient the whole way through. I also added a little bit of a magenta pinkish color just to get the very darkest spots. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed doing this little painting with me. If you like your final product, I would love for you to tag me on Instagram at Art by Isla so I can see it. Stay tuned for the next two in the series, and thank you so much for watching.